Hi, welcome to Triple Play. This is George Tsakanias. I am the area sales manager for New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and the Mid-Atlantic. I am here with Joe Curcio of Home Team Mortgage. How you doing, Joe?
I'm fabulous. You know, that's the first time I heard you say your last name, so now I can pronounce it correctly.
So do you like hearing Tsakanias or Tsakanias?
I just see seconds.
Okay. There you have it. We'll go with Tsakanias. It has to be Greek, you know. So we actually go back about 4 years. We met, I believe, at a Keller Williams office in Staten Island.
We did. We met at a real estate office. You had a presentation that I honestly I thought it was amazing. What you were doing, how you do it. So we just linked up, ended up talking, and power of networking. We just stayed in touch.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And you know what? It cultivated into something more and I remember saying to you that whenever I get my next home, I'm giving you a call. And what did I do?
You gave me a call.
And you actually got it done for me. I couldn't have been more impressed with your thorough output, your follow-up, your whole team, actually. Even your brother helping in, pitching in, he's calling me, and we just all collaborate to get the job done.
Yep.
And I couldn't have been more thankful.
No, I appreciate that. And, it all starts with the relationship of it.
Right.
We know each other, so we have that relationship. And that's what I try to do with any client I have. It's building a relationship, building the trust, because as long as you're buying your first home, that's your biggest investment you might get in your life. So you want to know what's going on. You want your hand held. Hey, listen, we start A, B, C to get you here. So that's what I try to provide to every single person. Obviously you're very special, a very special person and, great, but I try to be that way to everybody.
Correct.
As much as I possibly can.
Correct. And you know what? Because I had that experience for you up close and personal, I was able to refer more business out to you. Yes. Because I believe in the product that you're selling. I believe in the service that you delivered. Mm-hmm. And I expected nothing less when I referred older colleagues of mine to you. And they were so impressed with you to begin with. So, and I do appreciate the referrals that you send out to me with real estate agents, whether they're dual licensed in New Jersey and New York. We're all there to help them together.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, that's the power of it, power of networking, right? We're here at Triple Play in Atlantic City because, you never know how you can expand your business. You might see somebody doing something and say, I could do the same thing, maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit worse, but I can still do it, right? Or you just meet somebody, you have an interaction like this. It's all about the network that you're building. The more hands you shake, the more money you can make. It's there.
I got to ask you a question. So the past 2.5 years, we've seen some really outrageous interest rates.
Yes.
One of which I was in time to bank in on.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, you got lucky on that one.
Right. So do you still hear anyone saying, interest rates went high? How do you respond to that? I'll let you start first, and I'll tell you what I tell others too.
Okay. So now in the market where we're at, I think it's sometimes it's kind of funny because they'll talk about where they were. And I tell people straight out, hey, they were way too low for way too long. It's free money. So I'll have people now it's actually even back then, those 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when we were at, let's say, in the 3.5 mark instead of the high twos, I had people saying, I'm going to wait for it to get lower. I'm going to wait. And now you double that and people are seeing it. They're feeling it. It's there, but it's all the monthly payment, right? Everybody wants to know what's the rate, and it depends. It's your situation. It's always dependent on you. But the most important thing is the monthly payment that you live in, because you're not paying the interest rate, you're paying your monthly mortgage. So it's just trying to get people to grasp that concept of what it actually is, and going forward. I feel a lot of people ask what's the interest rate because that's the one thing they know. They just know I have to ask that. I was at a barbecue last week and my grandfather said, find out the rate. Right. Which it's great barbecue talk, but if you don't know what that rate's relevant to, then it's irrelevant.
I couldn't agree more. And full disclosure, I am not a mortgage rep, but
Fair.
I know I've learned so much from you as well, and from other industry professionals to say that you marry the house, date the rate.
It's a fair thing to say. And I actually tell people now, because obviously the rates are higher than what they were, right? This is what it is. But also, if you bought a house 10 months ago versus now, you might see a little bit of a price decrease, right? You're going to see a little bit. It's going to be there. And I always tell people, I'm like, hey, you rather buy something that already has equity because the appraised value is higher than the market value now.
Right.
So you built in equity, and even if your rate's higher, guess what? There's always in trends. It's always a roller coaster. They're going to eventually come down. And to where they're going to go down to, I don't know, but they're going to come down at some point. It's going to happen. At that point, you refinance your home, you have that built-in equity, and you have that great rate. Not many people are as fortunate to you to get value in a deal and the great rate too. So you're sitting very nice.
And one last thing, I always tell everyone that the rates when my parents were our age, we're talking 11, 12, 13%.
Yes.
So I give people something to reflect back on. I go, 6, 7% is really nothing.
Sure.
You'd probably pay more in interest on a used car loan.
You know what my Macy's card is? I got a
15%.
28.99%.
A little far.
Right. But it's the same thing. People, you don't realize. You're just going by, oh, this is the most commonly asked question, but you're paying credit card, you're paying interest on credit cards. What's the interest rate on the credit cards? You're paying a car lease, and although, a car isn't technically an asset, more of a liability, you're paying a lease that's 100% interest. It's the same thing as paying rent. There's 100% interest on rent. It's just getting people to kind of grasp that and kind of understand that. That's my approach.
Couldn't agree more. I want to thank you for your time. Always a pleasure working with you and to continue working with you.
Absolutely. Going to flourish.
That's all I could say for myself, too. It's going to flourish.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
All right.